Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. This week I have another lovely Belle Tress style to show you. This is Citrus Mint in Mocha with cream. She's not a brand new style. I think she's been out half a year or so. But if you've been watching my videos lately, I think you can tell that I'm becoming a Belle Tress fan, and this style I think is no exception. I think I'm absolutely going to love it, but I can't wait to get a good look at all the details. And I wanted to say, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe down below, like and comment, and we'll get started. Let's go ahead and talk about the details of Citrus Mint here. First, let's look at the lace front very carefully, and I'll try to hold still so you can really see. So I think it's very natural and soft because you have the lighter fibers in the front, and you can see here it's not too dense. I think you see a little bit more of a dark line here on this side, and if that's an issue at all, I would just part it and then pluck those darker knots behind the lighter knots a little bit just to thin it out. So yeah, I think on this style I might not need to do that. We have that zigzag parting that I haven't changed yet, and we're going to see if I want to leave this as a center part. This is a center mono part. I am Gen X, so I'm more familiar or comfortable with left parts. But I know that, these center parts are very popular, and whenever you change the part on a wavy style, it does change the curl pattern. So we'll see. Maybe I'll keep this as a center part, and I might not even need to steam this one. It seems like it's moving away from the face pretty nicely already. All right. And so what you have are just these gorgeous waves, loose, beach wavy, feels buttery, and yeah, I think you have some layers, but not a lot, and no fringe. Yep. Let's go ahead and do a spin. Here she is from the right, and the back, and the left. All right, so next we will go ahead and look at the cap construction. We will change this part line, and I'll see if I need to steam it in place or if it will just stay where it needs to be. We'll look at some different styling options for Citrus Mint. And lastly, I'll take her outside and we'll get a good look at this beautiful color in natural light. So let's look at the cap construction for Citrus Mint. First, I'll remove the piece of silicone scar tape. I like to place this on the underside of my monofilament part or top to help create a natural scalp appearance where otherwise my dark bio hair might show through the monofilament. And I like to use the AWD Medical silicone scar tape. I'll leave that in my description box down below. And this way I don't have to wear a wig cap, so I love that. What we have here, as you can see, is a center mono part and an extended lace front. It comes, I would say, about a third of the way down on the ear tab on both sides. And also this lace is pretty deep here as well. So if you wanted to change this to a left or right part, I think you could do it fairly easily, move within this center mono area, but then for this whole area, you could change the part either to the right or left. And so I think there's a bit of versatility with that kind of a lace front. And certainly I'm a huge fan of the extended lace fronts because this allows you to style the wig away from the face and have that appearance of hair growth all along that extended lace front. So that is my preference, and I'm so happy that this style has that. Then we have soft ear tabs with metal stays. We have a standard nape, not an extended nape, and bra strap style adjusters. I have a 22-inch circumference head, and all my measurements will be listed down below as well, so you can compare them to your own. This cap fits me very comfortably, so I think it absolutely fits average, or maybe even a little larger. You see, you could still loosen these adjusters a tiny bit on either side, but because this is open wefting in the back and on the sides, you're going to have a nice amount of stretch here. So A lovely cap construction. I did check for permatease on this style, and although I found some shorter fibers in the crown area and next to the mono part here, those fibers didn't really appear crimped to me. So if there's any permatease, it's very minimal. So overall, just a lovely cap construction for this style. So she's back on my head, and I did finger comb her a little bit just to loosen up these waves, and I just do that very gently all around, and that relaxes the waves a little bit and just loosens them up. And I did want to point out, and this is very common with wigs, but when you do that, you can get a little bit of shedding the first time you do that, especially, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim that. I don't want to pull on the fibers too much because that can stretch the surrounding fibers if I'm pulling too much. So I just want to trim them, not too much, just at the very tip here. And then whatever needs to fall out can fall out. Let's see if I have any on this side. And this is, as I said, very common. Okay. Now I think we've cleaned that up a little bit. All right, now I want to change the part line. So I have my rat tail comb, and we're going to do that, and then I'm very curious to see whether I want to leave this as a center part or change it to a left part. So I'm just going to run this down the center of that zigzag as well as I can. I'm liking that quite a bit, and I do have the scar tape under there again. So now let's finger comb that. Okay, well, I do think I want to do a little bit of steaming. Now that we have changed that part line to create that beautiful scalp appearance, I am getting a little bit of face flopping that I'm not loving. So I think I do want to steam this just a little bit here, just to get a little swoop away from the face. But overall, I think I like the center part. So I think I'll leave her parted that way. And as you can see, I think that is not at all too dense here. That looks very natural to me. Okay, I will grab my steamer and we will steam these fibers away from the face a bit. So she's on the blockhead and I'm ready to do some steaming. I like to use the iSteam steamer. This is a little handheld clothes steamer from Amazon. I think almost any handheld steamer would work. And I looked at this very carefully, and I do think I want to steam the part line in place a little bit. I feel like where I move the fibers, it's kind of standing up a little bit. It's not smooth. And so I'm going to go ahead and clip the fibers back a little bit where they seem to be falling forward at the part line. And then just steam that so that it's not, so that the fibers are nice and smooth on both sides and not kind of standing up on one side. I'll do that first. That should do it, and now that part line will stay in place as well. And I'm going to create, I think, 2 sections on both sides to steam these fibers away from the face and just create a little swoop here. I like to give the fibers a little twist just to help create a little lift there so that the steam can really get into the fibers. Clip the fibers in place. That's what that looks like, and I'll steam that, and then I'll create a second section and steam it, and we'll do that on both sides. Be sure to direct the steam at the fibers, not at the delicate lace front or monofilament portions of the cap, and keep the steamer moving. All right, I think that's good. Now I'm going to let these fibers cool completely so that this new style can set, and I'll put her back on my head and we'll see if we like the results. Okay, the moment of truth. The fibers are nice and cool now, so I can go ahead and remove the clips, and you saw I did kind of crisscross over and I just clipped them wherever it worked. So we'll just go ahead and remove all the clips, I think. I have 4 of them, 2 on each side. Okay. And then we'll let those fibers fall where they may. I can already see that we've got a little swoop going, and I'm just going to very gently comb this out. I love it. I hope you like it too. I think this is lovely, and I think I'm going to leave it as a center part. This is how this style was intended to be worn, although as I said, you could change it a little bit. But I think now that the fibers are moving away from the face, let's do a quick test as well. You can see staying out of my face very nicely. I think I will just leave it at that. And in terms of the hairline and needing to pluck anything, I will not be plucking. I think this looks very natural. If you wanted even more scalp appearance, you could add a little bit of matte eyeshadow. But this is just absolutely a beautiful style. And I think I will absolutely wear it this way. So next, we will go ahead and look at some styling options. So I was ready to go over some styling options with you, and of course I have been practicing the styling options, and as you know, I mean, I do a lot with my wigs, so I did notice that here in the front we're already getting a little bit of frizzing on the ends. I hope you can see that. And so I do want to treat that real quick before I do the styling options. What I like to do is just spray it with a little bit of water, make it damp. You could do that or use a heat protectant. And it's just mostly this one section where I really noticed it here in the front. So I'm just gently combing that to try to make it smooth. And I'm going to straighten it first so we can defrizz those fibers. And then I'll recurl it. So I have my TressTech Cool Flow set to 320 there. This is a new tool that I absolutely love. And I'm just going to run it over those fibers to smooth them out. That's what that looks like now. Nice and smooth. Okay, and then we'll wet it again. And I'm going to curl it away from the face. There we go. And so this is what that looks like now. Nice and smooth. Okay, so next we'll go over styling options. With a long style like this, you have so many different styling options. And we'll just look at a few here. I always like to test the ear tuck. And you can really do a nice half an ear tuck here and keep the fibers completely out of your face if you're cooking or gardening or whatever. You could do it on both sides. You could do a full tuck as well, actually. If we did that on one side and not the other, I think that's a nice look. All right, and then I like to show you the headband because this allows me to also show you exactly where that lace front ends on me. All right, so we have that beautiful natural looking hairline and the lace front goes from here to here on me. So all along there, in fact, sometimes I have to make sure that the bio hair is really tucked under as far as it'll go. But we have that beautiful natural looking hair growth all along there. And you do see some of my bio hair. I'm bending the ear tabs up and down, so it's a good amount of coverage though. I can fit about a finger's width between my ear, the top of my ear and the bottom of the ear tab. So really a nice amount of coverage. And that's what that looks like. I love a headband look. And then I think with a wavy style like this, I'll try a quick half updo. I think that looks really nice, kind of with the cascading waves in the back. By the way, I would say this is probably a medium density style. Hopefully that looks good. Next, I want to show you a ponytail. I always love testing these styles and seeing what kind of a ponytail we can create. Although you can create a nice ponytail with this style, I actually recommend against it because I think it caused some frizzing when I did this. So absolutely a nice amount of versatility with this style. I think you could easily wear it in an updo or just allow those beautiful beach waves to be displayed in their full glory. And so next we'll go ahead and we'll go outside and get a good look at this beautiful color in natural light. All right, so let's get a good look at this beautiful color, Mocha with Cream. As I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of this color. Belle Tress really knocked it out of the park with this gorgeous brunette shade. But I know they make a lot of beautiful colors. I'm just in love with this one. So the 3 recent styles that I've reviewed by Belle Tress have all been in this color. Let me go ahead and read you the description for it. So it has a darkest brown root, and you can see that. Quite dark. You do have a little bit of blonde highlighting that runs into it here. I don't recall seeing that with the other 2, but I think that looks wonderful. Then you have a blend of dark chocolate brown and cinnamon. You absolutely see some cinnamon. The brown is blended very well. Can't really distinguish it. And then along with milk chocolate, cool blonde, and light blonde highlights. So a lot going on. Brunette, red shades, and blonde shades with a dark rooting. Here is the sample from the coloring, just to give you an idea. And here's the rooting on all 3 of those colors. You can see quite dark. And then this is the darkest of the browns, that chocolate brown, and that's blended so well you barely can see that. The cinnamon, you see more. If you look at that, you can see a little bit right there. It is blended, but you can absolutely see some of the highlights, and it's just gorgeous. And then here we have the blonde. You have a lot of that at the front hairline, and then also here and there you can see some of those highlights. Just a gorgeous color. Let's look at that front hairline very carefully. You can see those knots are virtually invisible. Looks very natural and not too dense either at the front hairline. The parting space looks wonderful. We have that silicone scar tape under there. And yeah, I've been asked often whether blonde styles I'm showing are warm or cool. So I think I'll mention here also, I would definitely call this a warm brunette. But because of that dark brown rooting that is really a little more on the cool side, I think if you prefer cooler colors, you still might be able to wear this color. But I absolutely love those shades of blonde and red mixed with the brunette. It's a very sun-kissed, kind of fresh California look almost, I would say. Let's get a good look at her from all sides. Here she is from the right and the back. And the left. So absolutely gorgeous. I love the color, and I really do think it looks so nice with this beach wavy style. So final thoughts. Citrus Mint here is an absolutely gorgeous beach wavy style. I love these loose waves and the medium density, the fact that it's not too high density. You do have some layers, not a lot in the front, but on the sides, and I just want to point these out. I don't think I showed you this carefully before. You definitely have some shorter pieces on the sides and in the back. So I hope you could see that. And I just think that keeps it from being too high density and gives it a nice shape. So just a lovely style. The fibers are staying out of my face nicely. Then I love the cap construction, that extended lace front, with the seamless transition between the lace front and the ear tab. No visible seam there. And a nice density, I would say, at the hairline and in the parting space. The only place where you might want to pluck a couple of darker knots is here on the left, but that's minimal, and I won't be doing that because of where I have her parted. So I think that is a very natural looking hairline, and the lighter fibers in the front also soften it. So beautifully done. I do want to briefly talk about the fibers. I have reviewed Secret by Belle Tress previously, also in Mocha with cream, and I love this style. I have straightened her and trimmed her slightly. She had some flips. And I've been wearing her pretty much for a month, almost all day, every day. I absolutely love this style and find it's very practical and a great go-to style. And I've been absolutely delighted with these fibers. They are so buttery and soft and have not been tangling hardly at all. In the amount of time that I've worn her, all I've done to maintain these fibers is use a little bit of Simply Stylin Silk Spray. I like to use the Unscented version, which you can purchase if you go to their website directly and request it when you're buying it. So That's all I've done to maintain these fibers, and I think she is still in great shape, and I plan to wear her until she needs to be replaced. So that's my experience with the shorter, straight, heat-friendly synthetic fibers. Now with Citrus Mint here, although the fibers do feel buttery, just with how I've been treating her during this review, which included practicing some styling options and then using the style to show a ponytail and a half updo, I did experience some frizzing with the fibers. We went over how to correct that earlier in the video. I found another little area that was frizzing. So my recommendation for these longer, wavy, heat-friendly synthetic fibers would be to treat them with extreme care. Possibly not style them into updos or ponytails or anything where you might be pulling on or stretching these fibers, because that is what I believe has caused the frizzing that I've experienced. So I definitely think the Simply Stylin spray can be a big help also with detangling, and then just treating with heat if you do experience the frizzing. The color, I absolutely love this Mocha with cream. It's a new favorite color of mine. I just think that dark rooting with all these gorgeous highlights of cinnamon and blonde in the brunette are just very dynamic and gorgeous and interesting to look at. And I think the rooting adds realism as well. So absolutely love the color. As always, I hope that my review has been helpful and informative, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.